Adventure. Don't you get butterflies in your stomach every time you hear that word? Well, an adventure can mean different things to different people. But being car enthusiasts with a knack for traveling, our definition of an adventure is pretty straightforward. We love exploring new places with our favorite set of wheels. And these places and experiences aren't just for kicks, but they also serve as soul cleansing experiences. A detox from the mundane, if you will. And today you join us right in the middle of an adventure that defines the term in the true sense. It's an adventure that's not just going to be challenging, but it'll also allow ourselves to immerse in some of the most pristine, serene, and picturesque vistas of the country. Come join us then on an amazing journey where we head out on a 1,000 kilometers road trip into the heart of Uttarakhand to experience the state's exquisite wildlife and natural beauty.
Over the course of this road trip, we'll be visiting 4 national parks of Uttarakhand. These include the Corbett National Park, Rajaji National Park, Kedarnath Wildlife Sanctuary, and Nanda Devi Biosphere.
For an adventurous road trip such as this, we needed an SUV that not just feels right at home on the rough turf, but one that doesn't compromise on driving pleasure, luxury, creature comforts, and space. Not to mention, since this journey is all about capturing the natural beauty in its true essence, an SUV that's high in style was a must. And suffice to say, the vehicle you see here, the all-new Mercedes-Benz GLB, fits the bill to a T. Firstly, thanks to its mini GLS design, it grabs eyeballs everywhere you go. Plus, with its rugged off-road oriented design, short overhangs, 4MATIC all-wheel drive, and a mighty diesel motor, it's got all the ingredients for an adventurous road trip. On the other hand, it's a true Mercedes at heart, meaning it does comfort and luxury like no other. And with 3 rows, it had ample space to carry our adventure and camera gear as well as the entire crew. All in all, the GLB's versatility makes it a perfect companion for an adventure such as this.
The first national park that we are going to be visiting in Uttarakhand is Corbett, and I don't think it needs any introduction because it is the oldest and probably the most popular national park in the country. Now, it was established in 1936 and it is located in the lower foothills of Uttarakhand, and it's named after the legendary hunter and naturalist Edward James Corbett. Now, back in the day during the British Raj, he was quite popular because he used to hunt down all the man-eating tigers and leopards in this region. So he was a popular figure around here. Now, other than that, he was also instrumental in spreading the awareness for the protection of India's wildlife. And he also played a key role in the creation of a national reserve for tigers in India. Now, of course, for all his work, as a tribute, the national park is named after him. Now, as of today, Corbett is home to over 50 mammal species and over 500 bird species. But if there's one animal that it's famous for, it has got to be the Royal Bengal tiger. And that's what we are here for. So right now we are heading towards Ramnagar, towards our entry gate for the Corbett Park, the safari. And I have to say the roads are really nice and I'm enjoying driving the GLB because this is the diesel version and it has got a lot of grunt. It is properly quick. I wasn't expecting it to be this fast. It accelerates really briskly and it is plenty quick for all occasions. Even in the hills, it just shoots out of corners and the gearbox is absolutely seamless. So surprisingly, it's also quite fun to drive. And even though it's an SUV, it also handles really well. It can go around bends really confidently because again, it has got that 4MATIC all-wheel drive. So we just got lucky. We got to spot the tiger right here at this spot. You can see this is a water body and the tiger was lying around here. So it was a majestic sight, like I said, like expected. And we got very lucky because it all just happened within 45 minutes of entering the park. Well, that doesn't usually happen because people spend days here and they still can't spot the tiger. So like I said, we were quite lucky. Now our job here is done. We now move to the next national park, which is the Rajaji National Park in Haridwar. So let's get going. Our next stop is Rajaji National Park, or Rajaji Tiger Reserve as it's now called. Now this is the second tiger reserve in the state of Uttarakhand after Corbett, where we just went. Now this park is spread across 840 square kilometers of area and it's right on the banks of river Ganges. So the wildlife of course is thriving over here. Now this park is also famous for tigers, but more than that, it's famous for Asian elephants. And because it's on the banks of a river, there are a lot of birds also. There are over 300 species of birds here, both resident and migratory, that's what we are told. As for the location, this is around 150 kilometers from Corbett, and it lies in the Garhwal region of Uttarakhand. So the Corbett was in the Kumaon region and this is in Garhwal region. So it has three gates, Chila, Ranipur and Jhilmil. And right now we are entering from Chila gate, which is around 13 kilometers from Haridwar, and it is also the most popular. So we are in Rajaji right now, and in terms of wildlife, we have spotted some deers, spotted deers, male deer, sambar and all, and we have only done half of the safari. So hopefully we'll see elephants around. Let's see. So let's get deeper into the jungle and see. We have found what we came here for. Look at that. There are a lot of elephants, each size and dimension. How do you like it? Small, medium, large. We've got them all. I think it's fair to say that today's day was a success because we managed to spot all the wildlife we are looking for. So I think personally I prefer this park to Corbett because Corbett, well, you have to go to certain locations, but Rajaji, this Chila location, I think it's more diverse, and also in terms of topography, I think it's more beautiful in the sense you go to a certain elevation and it feels better overall. So if you're a first timer, I'd say prefer Rajaji over Corbett. So now we are headed to our night destination, which is Rishikesh, only 10-15 kilometers away from here. And tomorrow we head to Chopta Valley, which is around 150 kilometers away. And the temperatures are going to drop, so we have stuffed all our winter clothes at the back of this car. It has a big boot, I have to tell you. It has got 3 rows of seats, so you can fold the third row fully flat and it opens up a lot of space. You can also fold the second row in a 40-20-40 split. But since my crew is with me, so of course we are not going to fold the second row of seats. What they can do instead is they can use the slide and reclining function of the second row, because you can be really comfortable in there because the seats can slide up to 140 millimeters and it opens up a lot of leg room. So overall I have to say the journey has been very comfortable so far. Tomorrow, more adventure. We are heading towards our third destination, which is Kedarnath Wildlife Park. Now it is in Chopta in Uttarakhand, and for that we have to cover a distance of close to 200 kilometers from Rajaji, and it's going to be hilly all the way. But the good part is the roads are absolutely phenomenal. These are some of the best snaking hill roads that you can find, and you'll enjoy driving a car like the GLB on these roads. What's more, this route is quite scenic because you've got the rivers flowing alongside. First, when you leave from Rishikesh, you have the Ganges, and then when you go further up, you have Alaknanda River. So it makes up for some awesome shots, as you'll see in some of the footage as well. So right now, we are not doing anything. We are just going to head to Chopta, and I think by the time we reach, it'll be dark. So tomorrow is the day when we'll explore the wildlife of that region. So for today, we are just going to be driving and enjoying the GLB. I have to say that the journey has been enjoyable, and it's also very comfortable because we did cover a lot of miles today, and the GLB did everything without breaking a sweat. Well, what I particularly like is the comfort part. My main highlight is the seats. They are very comfortable, and they keep you in your place. They are those sports seats, but they're very comfortable. The other thing is, I also love the infotainment system on this car. It is quite intuitive, it's high definition, the touch response is absolutely phenomenal, and you'll love scrolling through the menus. On top of that, the music system is of the finest quality that you'll find in this segment. So overall, I have to say that it is a great road trip car because it's very comfortable. You're cocooned in luxury all the time. So this is it for day 3. Tomorrow we go explore more. Right now we are in Kedarnath National Park and we are in the Chopta region. So it is a large part. It is spread across 990 square kilometers, but we are in this region in Chamoli district near Chopta, and this place is of course famous for a lot of species, but if I have to name some, it is famous for Himalayan thar and musk deer, and it's also famous for its flowers. There's a flower called buras that's here. There is a biological name for that. I don't quite remember it, and I can't even pronounce it as well. But it is famous around this part because it is the state flower of Uttarakhand. And if you are in this region, you should also try out the juice that comes out of that flower. It is very delicious. Now coming back to the wildlife park, well, yes, we are in Kanchalakrak, which is famous for the musk deer. It is the speciality of this region. So we've been waiting here for half an hour. We couldn't spot the deer till now. The reason is, of course, it's a little cold today because it was raining and there was a hailstorm as well. So I think it's sitting cozy somewhere because we can't locate it. But of course, the view is amazing. As you can see, the peaks around there, the snow-capped peaks, it looks amazing. So even if you come here and you don't spot the wildlife, I think it's worth a visit because this is one of the most beautiful places in the country for sure. So today we are headed to our final destination, which is the Nanda Devi National Park. It's near Joshimath. It's still in Chamoli district, so it's around 150 kilometers from Chopta. And I have to say the roads have been fantastic for the most part. In fact, the roads were brilliant throughout. But just before Joshimath, they are in really bad shape, as in there are a lot of landslides and there's a lot of construction work. So it was like an off-road obstacle course because there are steep inclines, there is slush, there's everything that you can think of. And I think for me that also highlighted the off-road capability of the GLB because this car, even when you're driving it off-road, it is quite brilliant. So it has got that off-road mode and it has also got 4MATIC all-wheel drive. So what that mode does is that it splits the power 50-50 front and rear axle, and thereby you've got great traction when you're going over loose surfaces or even rocky terrains. So for me, that was the main highlight of this car.
While off-roading, you'll also love and appreciate the GLB's DSR or downhill speed regulation system, as it lets you drive down a slope in a controlled manner and doesn't allow the vehicle to freewheel at an increased pace.
And then when you're back on normal roads, as in hill roads, winding, smooth sections of road, you can switch back to sport mode, and then the torque split is 70-30. So then it again goes back to being sporty. And I also have to mention the steering is also very well calibrated. It's very direct, very precise. So I enjoy driving it in the hills as well. So as a driver's car also, or driver's SUV, it excels for sure. So overall, I have to say that what really stood out for me in the GLB is the fact that it brings best of all worlds. It is an SUV, as in it can do all those off-road bits. And then once you're on smooth tarmac, it turns into a driver's car of sorts because the grip, the handling, the steering, everything is in perfect sync and you absolutely enjoy driving this car. And I'm saying it car over and over again because it doesn't feel like an SUV, it doesn't feel cumbersome when you're going for it. So overall, I have to say that during this 1,000 kilometers journey through all the terrains, I was fairly impressed with the GLB. And I think it's a car that does everything. And last but not least, it's also very luxurious. It's so spacious. It has got that third row of seat. You can fold it down. It opens up around 500 liters of boot space. So it does virtually everything that you want. So long story short, if you want a luxury SUV that can do it all, if you want to be adventurous, if you want to explore, if you want to connect with the nature, I think there are not a lot of cars or SUVs that can match the GLB in this respect. As you can see, we have made it to the Nanda Devi National Park, and calling it vast would be an understatement. And I'll tell you why. Because this park is spread across an area of 6,740 square kilometers. Now that is quite huge. What's more, it has an altitudinal range from 1800 meters all the way up to 7,800 meters. Now, this park is called Nanda Devi because it is around the Nanda Devi peak, which is the second highest mountain in the country. It is around 7,800 meters in height, which is the tip point of this park as well. Now, most of the park is inaccessible and it's off limits for civilians and climbers, and so you can't really go there and disturb the wildlife. Well, I think that is a great thing because I don't think we should be allowed in, for sure. Other important thing about this park is that it includes the Valley of Flowers. I'm sure you must have heard about it before because that has probably all the beautiful flowers in the world. And it is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it is quite beautiful. Right now, again, it's off limits because it is all snowed up there. So roads are shut. And it's a 15-kilometer trek from the last village. So right now we couldn't access it, of course, and we are not allowed to go there. But if you are around this area, you should come here around peak summer. That's when the park is open, that's when the Valley of Flowers is open, and you can go there and you'll have some of the most breathtaking scenes over there. So overall, that is about the park. Now coming to the wildlife, of course, it is a huge park. It's spread across thousands and thousands of square kilometers. So a lot of the wildlife is not easily seen. You can't spot it very easily. But of course, if you're lucky, you might see snow leopards or Himalayan black bear or musk deer. And there are over 200 species of birds. And one of the experts over here, he tells me that you have to spend over a week or 10 days if you want to explore this region in its entirety. So make sure if you are going to visit this park, you should have enough time to go explore these places. Now what I'm going to do is head to a village. It is a long trek. Let's see we spot some wildlife. And if not that, we'll at least try to get a view of the majestic Nanda Devi mountain. So we spent half of the day trekking today within the Nanda Devi National Park. The bad news is we couldn't spot any wildlife, but the good news is the views are absolutely fantastic. They're out of this world. And in fact, it's not just the views, it's all the elements coming together, like the sound of the river gushing, that waterfall over there, the view of the landscape, these beautiful trees with lovely flowers. Everything here looks flawless. And I think it's indeed true that nature paints itself with the most beautiful colors, and that's what you see here. Nature in its truest, rawest form. And I think that is one of the main reasons where we go out on adventures such as this, because these are the rewards you get for all the time and efforts that you take to reach here. And I think for me, that's what made this trip totally worth the effort, because this is what we live for. This is what fills our soul. So yes, maybe in terms of wildlife, we didn't quite capture everything because it is very difficult. But on the whole, I think this was a major success. And of course, special props to our companion on this trip, the Mercedes-Benz GLB, because it's been a capable partner throughout the ups and downs of this journey. And like they say, difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. That is indeed the case here. The roads were also difficult, but the journey was made very easy because of the GLB. And that is because it's luxurious, comfortable, it drives really well, and it made our journey effortless right from the start till the very end. And with that, I think it's time to wrap this adventure. But you guys don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also stay tuned to AutoX for more such adventurous road trips.